Diamonds are not rare. In fact, they have never been rare. But for the last century, one of the most brilliant and deceptive marketing campaigns in history has convinced the world that these crystallized pieces of carbon are the ultimate symbol of love, commitment, and status, and are worth a fortune. This is the story of how a clever illusion transformed a common stone into a multi-billion-dollar empire. A story of money, power, and the manipulation of human desire. So, if diamonds aren't geologically scarce, where did the myth of their value come from? To find the answer, you have to go back to the late 1860s in South Africa. When massive diamond deposits were discovered there, a flood of these stones hit the market. Prospectors rushed in, and suddenly, a gem that was once reserved for royalty became astonishingly common. This created a classic economic crisis for the mine owners: oversupply. When something is abundant, its price collapses. The British financiers who had invested heavily in these South African mines were facing financial ruin. Their precious gems were about to become semi-precious stones. With their fortunes on the line, a group of powerful men decided that if reality wouldn't cooperate, they would simply have to invent a new one. This is where the story shifts from geology to power. A British businessman named Cecil Rhodes began buying up all the smaller mining operations in the Kimberley region of South Africa. By 1888, he had consolidated them into a single, monstrous entity, De Beers Consolidated Mines. His goal wasn't just to mine diamonds. It was to control every single diamond coming out of the ground to rig the game. After Rhodes, a man named Ernest Oppenheimer perfected this system. He created a global cartel, a single entity that would control the world's diamond supply. This organization, known as the Central Selling Organization, controlled between 80% and 90% of the entire rough diamond market for most of the 20th century. Think of it like a single company controlling the world's water supply, able to turn the faucet on or off at will. De Beers bought diamonds from mines all over the world, including from Russia and other competitors, just to keep them off the open market. They hoarded billions of dollars worth of these stones in heavily guarded vaults in London, releasing only a trickle each year to create the illusion of scarcity. The price of diamonds didn't rise because they were rare. It rose because a single company decided what the price would be. But controlling the supply was only half the battle. You can make something scarce, but how do you make people desire it? How do you convince an ordinary person to spend a fortune on a shiny rock? For that, you need a story. In 1938, with the world still in the grip of the Great Depression, De Beers hired a premier advertising agency, N.W. Ayer, to solve their demand problem. The goal was to embed the idea of diamonds into the very fabric of American culture. The campaign they created was nothing short of psychological genius. They began placing diamonds on the fingers of Hollywood movie stars, linking the stones with glamour and romance. They commissioned paintings of famous historical figures adorned with diamonds and ran ads that looked like society news, showing off the diamond rings of the rich and famous. Then, in 1947, a young copywriter named Francis Jarity coined 4 simple words that would change everything: "A diamond is forever." This wasn't just a slogan. It was a masterpiece of emotional engineering. It linked the diamond's physical indestructibility to the abstract idea of eternal love and commitment. But it also served a brilliant business purpose. If a diamond is forever, it should never be resold. This masterfully discouraged the growth of a secondary market, which would have revealed how common diamonds actually were and crashed their price. The tradition of the diamond engagement ring, which was not widely practiced before this campaign, was almost entirely manufactured by this advertising effort. With this powerful story in hand, De Beers set out to conquer the world, not with armies, but with advertisements. After World War II, as the American middle class boomed, the company's marketing went into overdrive. Their ads explicitly instructed men on the importance of the diamond ring as a mandatory part of any marriage proposal. But they didn't stop there. They needed to anchor the price in the consumer's mind. In the 1980s, De Beers launched a new wave of ads with a very specific suggestion. A man should spend 2 months' salary on an engagement ring. It was a completely arbitrary number, but it became a cultural benchmark, a social rule that millions of people followed without question. This cultural conditioning was exported globally with stunning success. Take Japan, a country with no historical tradition of giving diamond engagement rings. De Beers launched a massive campaign there in the late 1960s, linking diamonds to a modern Western ideal of romance. By 1981, over 60% of Japanese brides were wearing a diamond ring. De Beers didn't enter a market. They created one from scratch, proving that the desire for diamonds wasn't innate, it was taught. For decades, the illusion was nearly perfect. The cartel controlled the supply, and the marketing controlled the demand. But in the late 20th century, cracks began to appear in the diamond empire's flawless facade. The first major blow came from revelations about blood diamonds. In the 1990s, the world learned that many diamonds were being mined in war-torn parts of Africa and sold by warlords to fund brutal conflicts. The public outcry was immense, and the image of the diamond as a symbol of pure love was forever tainted by its connection to violence and suffering. This scandal forced the industry to create the Kimberley process, a system designed to certify that diamonds were conflict-free, but it permanently damaged consumer trust. The second, and perhaps greater, threat came from science. Technologists perfected the ability to create diamonds in a lab that are physically, chemically, and optically identical to mined diamonds. These synthetic diamonds are not fakes like cubic zirconia. They are real diamonds, just without the billion-year-old origin story and, more importantly, without the billion-dollar marketing myth. Lab-grown diamonds can be produced in unlimited quantities at a fraction of the cost, directly attacking the core of the De Beers narrative: rarity. Finally, a cultural shift is underway. Younger generations, often burdened with debt and more focused on ethical and sustainable consumption, are beginning to question the tradition. They are more likely to choose alternatives, from lab-grown diamonds to other gemstones, or to forego the engagement ring tradition altogether. The social pressure that De Beers spent billions to create is slowly starting to fade. So, when you look at a diamond today, what are you really seeing? You are not seeing a rare geological treasure. You are seeing the result of a century-long illusion, built on a foundation of supply manipulation and some of the most effective marketing the world has ever known. The value of a diamond was never in the stone itself. It was in the story that was sold to us. The lesson from the diamond deception is a crucial one for anyone interested in money and value. It teaches us to question why we believe something is valuable. Is it because of true scarcity and utility, or is it because a powerful story has shaped our perception? History doesn't repeat, but if you don't understand it, it will crush you all the same. The story of the diamond is about the difference between real value and perceived value, and learning to see that difference is the first step toward true financial freedom. If you learned something, hit subscribe. Have a great day.